Hey guys, how many of you can guess what bike this is just by this angle? Leave it in the comments. You guys, welcome to the 2016 Moto Guzzi Eldorado. This is an absolute dream bike. There's lots to tell you guys, and so I'm not going to get into it right now. I'm going to concentrate on riding this for the first time and getting home safely. We'll get some vistas because we came all the way down from Sacramento to San Luis Obispo. That's where my brother went to college, at Cal Poly. And so we're just going to enjoy this ride, no talking. And I will fill you guys all in on all the details once we get this inaugural ride in. So just enjoy these views. I'm gonna shut my mouth. I know I know it's hard to believe, but that's what's gonna happen. And I'm so excited. Oh, so smooth. All right, guys. Oh, Italian bike. Woohoo! All right, I'm gonna shut up. smokes, have we done something here? Now, I don't know. I know a lot of you, if not all of you, have probably not seen my video test riding the Softail lowrider. This was way back, I think in 2018, maybe even earlier than that. A very similar setup here to that. I think the lowrider had pegs, but it definitely had the sweatback handlebars. And boy, have we come full circle, because when I rode that bike, I wouldn't say my complaint, but what I talked about a lot was how it was like a beach cruiser, like a bicycle handlebars, where it just came right back to you, super comfortable riding position. But I didn't know at the time if that was something for me. But times have changed, tastes have changed, and really this is more about longevity. And really, I'll tell you, if you don't believe in love at first sight, believe that, because that's what happened when I saw the 2016 Moto Guzzi Eldorado. It was absolutely well, first of all, this bike is like pristine. I have never seen a bike that's as old as this one. It looks absolutely brand new. This is the closest thing I've ever had to a brand new motorcycle. And let me tell you, it's not just about the looks, guys. I mean, obviously, that's what drew it to me at first. I mean, you could say that about any kind of, dare I say, relationship. It's how it starts, right? You're attracted to someone, something, and that's what gets you in the door. But what keeps you there and what holds you is everything else. And I can tell you right now, this bike is the full package. This isn't just a nice looking bike. This bike has pretty much everything that I've ever wanted, ever been looking for in a motorcycle, and then cruise control to boot. Never had cruise control. Used it on our big 4.5 hour trip back with this bike, but it was absolutely, I saw this bike and I was like, oh my gosh, this bike, and at the price that he was asking. And it's mostly because, you know, for fair market value for a Moto Guzzi, he could have been selling this bike for a lot more. This bike is essentially brand new. It was in immaculate condition. If we turn to look at the mileage here, the total mileage for this bike, this is after I rode it home for 300 miles, is not even over 2,000 miles yet. So we've got what is essentially a brand new bike, a 2016 though. It's a 7-year-old motorcycle. We're gonna fill up some gas here, but oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. The gentleman the experience, let's just talk quickly about the experience, because the experience has been the best private owner experience I've ever had, private owner seller experience I've ever had buying a motorcycle. And I've bought a few, but this takes the cake. I mean, hands down. Jeff, which is also the name of my best friend, so that was nice, and somewhere in a comfort zone for me, just to have somebody named Jeff sell me this bike. Was just the absolute kindest and thoughtful. He gave me all these little things that he did not need to give me that he got with this bike, including with this really cool like metal plate that goes on the ground that I put underneath the bike. It's cool. It looks awesome in my garage underneath the bike when I have it parked. And it's one of those extra things that, like, you know how when you're in your garage and you see your bike and you just have to stop and stare for a bit. I'll tell you, that never got old even with my Super Duke. I used to stop and stare at that bike all the time. And I can tell you this will not get old with the Moto Guzzi Eldorado. So yeah, it was the best experience ever. Super thoughtful, and there was just never any doubt going into this private purchase. And the other thing was that I had to travel for 4.5 hours. We had to go quite a ways away, almost 300 miles away, which meant putting more miles on this bike than it's ever been ridden at once. But man, when I finally got to the bike, it was one of those things where, oh my god, it looks even better in person. And then and then it was riding it, which, I mean, I didn't even need to test ride it, really. I wanted to hear it start, and, you know, I rode it to the gas station after I bought it, and he filled it up for me, which again is just something so super kind. Once I got on this bike, it was like being home. It's the smoothest, most comfortable, and this is all stock stuff. The seat on this bike is so nice. Like, again, when we talk about like American bikes, Harley Davidson bikes, the seats, they're somewhat comfortable, but I've ridden this bike now. I rode it for 5 hours in one day, almost 5 hours in one day, and that includes traffic and all, and this never got tired in this saddle. That was the longest trip I've ever taken, and my least of concern was my bottom. And that is just the comfortability. The performance, this is the smoothest ride I've ever ridden. I've ridden at least 50 motorcycles, at least. You know what, I take it back. I've ridden at least 40 motorcycles in all of my years of test riding and making reviews for you guys. This bike is by far the smoothest riding bike, and I'm not just talking about the suspension. If you notice, there's no shake here at all in the handlebars, and maybe that's not something you can notice in the video. Like the Harley, I'm pretty sure you can see it, but there's no shake in the handlebars at all. And so it's like when you're riding it, you don't feel anything. When you're stopped, and you'll see it here, it starts shaking because of the transverse mounted V-twin engine. That's just the nature of it. Same thing with the Boxer engine and the R18, the BMW. It's that flat twin. It's just the nature of the physics of the engine and how it's running. This bike is the same thing. It's got this the way that it's mounted makes it so the bike is a little vibraty here at stop, but otherwise, and you'll see as soon as we start moving, that all just freaking goes away at 100%. And the other thing about the way that this transverse mounted V-twin engine, another thing that's helpful there is that it cools both heads, because the way that it's facing both heads get the same amount of cooling. Not like a V-twin that's mounted like on a Harley or even on my Super Duke, where most of the air is just hitting that front head. So, I mean, we're just talking about like super thoughtful engineering. We're talking about a bike that wasn't made for that long, so you're not going to see a whole lot of them on the road. And I'm not going to lie, having a rare motorcycle or a bike that you don't see all the time, to me, is appealing. But this was like all of the things that I love wrapped in one. Not to mention, I was already getting ready or looking to buy a bike, and you'll see, I mean, obviously you've already seen the video with the Switchback, looking for a more comfortable ride, something that I can ride longer distances, something that I can be happy with for longer term, because, you know, just the thought of buying motorcycles and going through all those transactions all the time, it gets old. And so here we are, and okay, so we talked about the seat and the suspension. That's just awesome, and this bike is just amazing. The power, I mean, it's got a 1400cc V-twin engine in it, and if you've ever heard about the V7, the Moto Guzzi V7, and just not having a whole lot in the 750, and then the 850 being a little bit better. I think the 850 you can get all the way up to like somewhere in this close to 70 horsepower in that motor, out of that motor. I will put the specs here because I haven't looked specifically for the Eldorado, but this has as much power, and we're in Turismo mode. There are two other modes. I think Piaggio, it starts with a P. It's Italian. I gotta get used to it. And then Veloce, which is fast in Italian, and that is the sport mode. I didn't even go into sport mode, and Turismo had plenty of juice to pass, to get onto on-ramps, once we hit an open space where there's just not a lot of traffic, I turned on cruise control. This bike, the only thing it didn't have was heated grips, which is something that I could have used, because by the time I got home it was like 48 degrees at night, no sun. Yeah, that was a brisk day, but it just felt like it didn't matter. My wife was so kind as to drive me down there so we could bring all the extra stuff home with no problems. Most of it I could have fit in my backpack, but that nice, really cool floor plate I would not have, and I really wanted that. I got this cool banner, which I've already gotten some stuff to hang it up in my garage. Hopefully by the time this video hits, I will have a video of that for you too, because these are just all these things that Jeff, the most amazing owner of this motorcycle, well, now I'm the most amazing owner of this motorcycle, was so kind as to include. And I'm sorry that this whole video is just me riding. I mean, I would want to stare at this bike and not me too if I was watching this video. But yeah, I haven't thought of where I want to mount, because this is such a nice line here with these handlebars that I don't want to break it up by putting a phone mount or a rear-facing camera. But I don't like making videos of just this angle here when I vlog, so we'll figure out a way, maybe something right in the middle, so probably something less permanent, so that when I'm not vlogging I can just take it off and ride. But anyway, there's details that you guys do not care about. You guys, this bike, if there's questions that you have about it, well, there's going to be plenty more content on the Moto Guzzi. Comments. You guys own a Moto Guzzi. Well, a friend of mine owns a Moto Guzzi and was the person who kind of just was like, yeah, go for it. And this was when I was considering buying the V7 Stone Special Edition. Didn't end up going with that. Ended up getting a lot more bang for my buck, because that would have been from a dealer. And yeah, you guys, it's hard because I'm riding the Eldorado, and sometimes I can just get lost in this beautiful display, which, you guys, this display, I can change the contrast, so it's harder to see here in this video, which it isn't hard for me to see. I don't know if it is for you, right here in the bright sun of just a freaking beautiful fall 2023 morning. At night, and I did get some video of the screen of the display here at night, and it looks even better. I love, if we just be quiet here, the sound of this engine. We'll get some B-roll for you.
We now return to your regular programming.
Even though the exhaust isn't super loud, it just has a really cool, a really neat sound to it. It's a unique sound, and again, it's one of those things where if you want to stand out, sometimes you don't have to be super loud. You just have to have a unique sound, and that's what we got. I don't like this gas station. Oh, we're under $5. We're gonna go to this gas station, guys. That's all I've got for you today. I hate to end a video like this at the gas station, but that's what we're gonna do. Again, if you guys have questions about the Moto Guzzi Eldorado, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If I can, I'll hunt that answer down for you. But guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Guys, thank you so much for supporting me. If you're out there riding, please be safe, be kind to one another. My name is Eric, I'm that one guy, and I am out.